Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My silicone baby boy. Excuse the fact that my hair is a complete mess. I don't have any makeup on. Well, I do, I just haven't taken it off. Anyway, minor detail. Gosh, I'm very tired. I've had a very busy day today. Ivy and I have been out into York. We've had a lovely day. I don't quite know exactly what was going on in York, but I assume it was something to do with the Queen's Jubilee. There was a lot of police there. There was military there, and it was actually really nice. I'm not a massively patriotic person, but you know, I do like to see them marching and what have you. Apparently Princess Anne was there, but I didn't see her, although having said that, I have actually met her on the one occasion. I have actually met Prince Charles as well, although at the time I met Prince Charles I was in hospital, pretty much on the brink of death, so I was actually very poorly at the time, so obviously I don't remember meeting him. Although he did, he gave me a doll, obviously not a reborn or anything like that, just a doll, quite a large doll, I'll admit. And it was actually called Victoria, which is my name. I don't have that at my house. My mum and dad have her at theirs, which is absolutely fine. And who else did? My uncle Michael, who lives in Australia, also came to visit me when I was in hospital. I mean, I was only sort of 7 years old at this point, and he brought me over a kangaroo. Obviously, I have no recollection of these visits because I was extremely unwell. I was very slowly recovering from a cardiac arrest, something which they didn't think I'd survive from. And yet here I am. I have fought my way back from brain damage. I can't work because of partly because of my heart condition, my CHD, congenital heart defect, is what CHD stands for, and partly because of the brain damage I suffered as well. However, despite these issues that I have, I am now at the age that I'm at now. I'm now 37. I live independently on my own. I did have carers for a while, because I was struggling to get myself washed and dressed and what have you on a morning, which most mornings now I can do that pretty much perfectly fine on my own. If I'm having a bad day, then I just basically have to say, do you know what, I'm just not going to have a shower today. And I generally know the next day is going to be okay. If the next day is as bad as the day before was, I'll give my mum a ring and she'll come and give me a hand. Anyway, on, I don't know what to say on the back of that, or, but one thing that I do, or I would love to desperately have, is I would love to be able to have a baby of my own. I would love that more than anything in the world. However, I know with my condition, obviously the fact I live on my own, I'm single, I've never had a partner, and to be perfectly honest, I'm not actually interested in having a partner. I'm quite happy and content living on my own. But the I don't know to say the pull or the need to have my own child is very strong. As you all know, I have Ivy Rose, who I love to bits, I adore, and who I've been into York with today. I get loads of lovely comments whenever people, sort of say, oh, she's so sweet, how old is she? I always tell them I'm very open, I'm very honest. I'm a very open and honest person. I always have been, and I probably always will be. That's just how I am as a person. So I always tell people, if they ask that, well, actually, she's a reborn, and I explain the reasons why I have her, because Ivy Rose helps me with my anxiety when I'm out, if my mood is really low, which, having said that, when I'm out with Ivy, my mood and my anxiety is just pretty much non-existent. And the fact that essentially a doll can do that, I mean, I know she's not real. I'm not stupid. I know she's a doll. But because, as you guys know, because these dolls are weighted and the way they are painted, obviously they're made to look like a real baby, which can fool a lot of people, and it has done. I mean, one of the main shops I go into in York is a shop called Jojo. I want to say Jojo Malone, but it's not Jojo Malone. There is a Jojo Malone in York, but that's not the one I go into. It's called Jojo B. And it was quite amusing, because the first time I walked in there, I was looking for an outfit for George, who at that point I hadn't paid off, and I've now fully paid him off, and he is now getting made, and I will have pictures in about between 4 to 6 weeks of how he's coming on. So yeah, I'd gone in there to get an outfit for George, and the lady in there said to me, she said, oh my gosh, she said, but this one's not, she said, this one's not very old. So I then explained the fact that obviously, Ivy was a reborn. I explained the reasons why I had Ivy, and I then explained why I was getting George. Because I'm not, I mean, a lot of people on here have, I'm not saying everybody has, but I know some people have a lot of dolls in their collection, and that's fine. You've got to do whatever, it's a hobby, and and that's fine. A lot of people are very much into the sculpts or the sculptures, the artists, and what have you, which again is absolutely fine. Now, don't get me wrong, I want to make sure that whoever is making my baby, whether it be a reborn or a silicone, is a well-known and a trusted artist. Now, I know the lady that is making George is pretty much that. I've read, like I say, I've read her reviews. We've been messaging each other backwards and forwards for a while now, and like I say, now that I've got George paid off, you know, between 4 to 6 weeks time, I will, you know, see pictures of how he's coming along, of which I'm obviously very excited about. And I've completely forgotten what I was going to say now. But yeah, I mean, like I say, people collect the Reborns, the Silicons, for whatever reason. Some people just collect them because they like dolls. And they want, you know, all sorts of different kinds of dolls. Whether that's Silicons, Reborns, whether it's, you know, dolls that you purchase off the shelves, for example. And that's fine. I mean, I came across Reborns a long time ago. I mean, we're talking about 10 years plus. There was a program about, it was called My Fake Baby. And from the moment I watched it, it was actually a documentary. From the moment I watched that documentary, I've watched it numerous times over and over again on YouTube. And from the first time I saw it, I was hooked. I was fascinated, and I thought, wow, that is a way that people like myself who can't have their own children because of the health implications that it will have on them. I mean, I've been told by my cardiologists and my cardiac team that if I felt pregnant, they would support that. However, the chances of me having a successful pregnancy are extremely slim. The chances of the baby not making it are very high. So obviously that baby would pass away. And also my fertility rate would also be quite high as well, because my heart and my lungs, my liver, my spleen, my kidneys, pretty much every organ in my body is affected by the fact that I have CHD, congenital heart defect. So if I were to then get pregnant, carry a baby, the outcome for myself and the baby wouldn't be good. And I wouldn't want to not so much put myself through that, but I couldn't be selfish, and I couldn't fall pregnant knowing that the odds of that baby not surviving, or even if it did survive, it could have massive health implications as well. You know, I mean, it could end up with heart defect of its own, you know, respiratory issues, and I couldn't do that to a child. You know, I couldn't do that to an innocent little baby. It didn't ask for that, you know, so I just wouldn't do that. Which is why I have the Reborns, and since I started, I don't know whether collecting's the right word, because I don't sort of collect them as such. I mean, in my very small collection that I have Ivy, who obviously you see a lot in my videos, and I have Olivia, who I don't feature a great deal, because she's preemie sized as Olivia. She's beautiful, and she won't be going anywhere. I mean, when George comes along, the girls will be staying where they are. Ivy and Olivia will be staying with me, and I will have 3 babies, and that will be it. That will be my collection complete. I will have my 2 girls, my little boy, and I will be very, very happy with that, because when I got my very, very first, or rather my second, should I say, reborn, which I don't know whether I had a YouTube channel then or not. But I had oh gosh, my face looks very chubby on here. Anyway, my very first reborn that I had, well, as I would class as my very first reborn, was George. He was pretty much like Ivy. The only difference is that he was maybe a slightly heavier, and obviously he was a boy. Because as some of you will know, Ivy has a full body plate, and George had the same. I sold George under duress, shall we say. It was very, very hard having to sell him. I didn't want to sell him. I'm not going to go into the issues or the reasons why I had to sell him, but it wasn't my decision to sell him. Let's just leave it at that. After I very begrudgingly sold George, I desperately missed him. I actually got in touch with the lady who purchased George off me, and asked if I could buy him back. By which point I didn't realise this, and it hurt me even more. She'd then sold him on to somebody else. And I was very upset. She'd also removed his body plate, which I was also very upset about. So that's another reason why I will not be selling the girls, because to have these reborns, these babies, whatever you want to call them, for me, they are works of art. Of course they are. But for me, they're the closest I'm ever going to get to, well, aside from obviously when I looked after my niece, they're the closest I'm going to get to having a newborn baby in my life, if you like. Whether that's wrong or right, whether you agree with that or not, that's irrelevant to me. I mean, Ivy has given me the confidence to, when I wake up in the morning, I can think, oh, right, do I have Penny today? Penny is my brother and sister-in-law's little puppy. So I think, right, have I got Penny today? So I'll text one of them and see if they want me to have it. If not, I'll then think, right, let's get Ivy ready. Let's go into York. If I didn't have Ivy in my life, I wouldn't do that. And if they text me to say, well, actually, no, because she's going to the groomies, she's doing whatever, then I'd be thinking, right, well, what am I going to do for the rest of what am I going to do for the rest of the day? Because I don't have the confidence to go into York, which is only half an hour away on the bus, but because I have extremely bad anxiety because of my heart condition, I don't have that confidence to go into York on my own. Now, granted, obviously, when I go in with Ivy, she's not real. She's a doll. At the end of the day, okay, she is a doll. And I know that, but because she's waited, and I think because a lot of people, will say, oh, she's so sweet, how old is she? And then when I when I explain about Ivy and the reasons behind it, every single person so far has been so supportive of it. You know, I mean, yeah, you're going to get the odd one or two that are like, well, okay, you're a bit of a crazy loon. But, you know, there again, I think, well, yeah, but I've survived a cardiac arrest. I've fought my way back from brain damage. If you think I'm a loon because of, you know, because I now have to have a doll with me when I go out to give me confidence, then you just crack on. They haven't had to live the life that I've had to live. They haven't had to go through what I've had to go through. You know, and I just think if people don't like it, that's fine. Not everybody's gonna like it. You know, but that's fine. At the end of the day, it makes me happy. It gives me confidence. I mean, one of my best friends who also has a congenital heart condition, thankfully not as severe as mine, thank goodness. You know, she can't wait to meet Ivy. And you know, she's so supportive of me getting George, and she's like, oh well, as soon as you start getting pictures of him, you need to send them to me. You know, so she's very supportive of it. And I've also got another good friend who's, you know, who's exactly the same, you know, and we've actually been out together, and I've taken Ivy with me. You know, and she's held her, she's cuddled her, and she's like, wow. So, you know, I mean, people use them for therapy dolls, and for me, I guess in some respects, that's what Ivy is for me. When I go to my local surgery, which is like literally 2 minutes away, and I mean 2 minutes away, walking, I mean, not going in the car or anything, but it's literally 2 minutes away from where I live. When I go into the surgery, my anxiety goes through the roof. And I mean through the roof. I walk through the door, my mouth goes dry, and it's horrible. And I just think I just want to get out of here. Now, I haven't actually taken Ivy when I've gone for, I go to my local surgery quite regularly because I'm on warfarin, and it needs to be checked quite regularly to make sure I'm still in a safe range and what have you. So I am there on a regular basis. And my nurse said to me, who is lovely, she's and she's also a friend of mine, and her youngest daughter also collects reborns. And you know, she said to me, she said, well, why don't you bring Ivy with you when you come next time, because you know that she helps. So yeah, when I go next, I probably will take Ivy with me. I mean, I have an appointment at York on Monday. I've got to have a liver scan, because yeah, that's damaged as well due to medication, and what have you with my condition. But my sister-in-law's taking me to that, so that's fine. But yeah, Ivy helps me in a big way. You know, like I say, she it means that I can go into York. It means that when I'm in York, I don't have any anxiety. I don't think I actually ever once look at my watch when I'm in York and think, oh, gosh, what time have I got to get back for the bus? I don't think I've ever done that once since I've got in with Ivy. And yet when I'm in on my own, all I do is I check my watch, and I can't relax fully. I can't just enjoy the fact that I'm in York, and you know, and it's a horrible feeling to have, and anybody with anxiety will completely understand. I know those without anxiety, obviously it'll be a little bit harder I'm not saying you're not going to understand as such, but it's going to be harder for you to understand. I appreciate that. But for those of you who do have anxiety for whatever reasons, whether it's anxiety about going out, whether it's just general anxiety, whether it's, you know, whatever, you know, there's one thing that you do need to know. Those of you who do suffer with anxiety, you are never, ever on your own, ever. Because there's never just you that's going through it. Although it can feel like that at times, and trust me, I've been there. Okay, I've been to the dark side. A couple of times actually. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. And I've had to have help, I've had to have counselling, I'm now on medication. And yeah, between the medication, the counselling, and having Ivy, you know, things are so much better for me. So yeah, those of you who do suffer with anxiety and depression, I mean, I have anxiety, depression and PTSD, but that is due to my congenital heart defect I've had through everything I've been through, you know, as a child. You know, it unfortunately it does catch up with you at a later date, unfortunately. Anyway, I think I've waffled on enough now. But yeah, I just wanted to pop on and just sort of fill you in. I know I don't have Ivy with me. It is just my ugly mug that you get to see tonight, so I do apologise for that. I don't even know if I'll post this on my I was going to say Instagram and also YouTube, but you know, sometimes just talking about things, it just helps. So yeah, but yeah, I just want everybody out there to know that, you know, you're not alone. We all go through dark times. You know, we all have those, oh my God, I can't cope moments. But, you know, you can get through it. There is help out there. Never, ever be afraid to ask for help, ever. Because I think if I hadn't actually, it was actually one of my friends, one of my heart friends that I phoned. And I think if I hadn't actually reached out and phoned her this particular day, this is going back a while now, but if I hadn't actually reached out to her and phoned her and she hadn't picked that phone up, I don't think I'd be, you know, having this conversation with you guys now, because I honestly don't know if I would be here. That is how bad my life had got to at that point. But with help, with support, with medication, yeah, it doesn't fix everything. It doesn't make it all go away. But it means that you find a way to cope. I had an amazing counsellor. I had a huge support from my family, from my friends, especially my heart friends. And one of my heart friends in particular was a massive, massive support. You know, we're a huge support to each other. And obviously I didn't at the time, but I now have my reborns. You know, I have Ivy, so I don't actually get to that point where I think, oh my God, I can't cope. You know, I don't know what to do. You know, I mean, I didn't want to be here at one point. That is how bad my life got at one point. And like I say, it was actually one of my heart friends who, fortunately for me, picked up the phone when I rang her, and spoke to me, and I owe a massive thanks to her, because it is thanks to her that I am still here now. So yeah, but yeah, I just want you all to know, because I know there's been some very, very sad, heartbreaking news in our reborn community, but yeah, I just want you all to know that however bad life gets, whatever life throws at you, you know, there's help, there's support out there, there's our amazing community that we have, you know, and reach out, guys, reach out to us, you know, if you're struggling, if you're finding it hard, you know, because life's not easy, especially at the moment with flaming COVID, you know, but we can help each other, you know, and if you're having a bad day, that's fine, you know, it's okay to have a bad day, there's nothing wrong with having a bad day, but if you're having a really bad day and you're really struggling, then reach out, you know, reach out to your family, reach out here on the community, reach out to whoever you feel you can trust, and yeah, and ask for that support, ask for that help, and don't ever feel ashamed to do that, because believe you me, going through what I've been through, there is absolutely no shame throwing your hands in the air and saying, do you know what, right at this moment I just can't cope and I don't know what to do. And when you get to that point, you pick up that phone, you either dial 111 or you get in touch with your local surgery, you know, and they will help you, because you know, life isn't easy. You know, we all have our own struggles. Yes, I probably have more than most, but you know, like I say, having the reborns helps me enormously. I know having George will make it a huge difference. Oh, well, I'm not saying a huge difference, that's maybe a slight exaggeration, but I know having George, you know, it'll make me very, very happy, because to me, he is my dream baby. He's going to have a drink and wet, he's a full-bodied silicone, and that, you know, for me is the ultimate. So yeah, but anyway, I'm going to end this video now, because I've gone on for just over half an hour, which I can't believe, although having said that, I do rabbit on, so I just have to apologise about that, guys. So I'm going to post this to my YouTube channel and also to my Instagram, which is, oh my god, honestly, I tell you, my silicone baby boy, I think. If that's wrong, I'll let you know, but anyway, I'm sure that's what it's called. Yeah, I was going to call it my silicone baby boy George, but I thought that was too long, so it's just my silicone baby boy. So I'm going to post it to there. They both have the same name, by the way, the Instagram and the YouTube. Mainly because it's easier for me to remember. Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you, guys? Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to get that uploaded. So take care, stay safe, and remember, you know, you are never, ever alone, and never be afraid to ask for help and to reach out, guys. Okay, love you all lots. Cheerio for now, and I'll have Ivy with me in the next video. Bye for now, guys.